All right, friends, what is happening? It is going to be it's going to be, I don't know why I started off saying it's going to be an interesting video. This is going to be one of those videos I have been waiting years to be able to do. You may be saying, well, Alex, why didn't you do this sooner? Well, because the manufacturer didn't have this available until right now, today. And this is, obviously, as the title is going to lean into, one of my favorite tents. So if you came to me on the street and said, hey, Alex, you've tested a lot of tents. What are some of your favorite tents? And I can guarantee one of those favorite tents, of course, is going to be the Breg Up 5. This has been just a workhorse, a tent that I have tested now, this is coming out to the 6th year that I have been testing these Breg tents and so forth. And so listening to you folks, up until this time, one of the sticking points has always been that it has always been just available in a camouflage color and so forth. And many of you have been waiting on the sidelines or you've gone different directions or this or that because you wanted a solid color. Well, yeah, as the title points out in this video, these tents have just moved from awesome factor 10 to a off the charts 12 because now these are being available or made available in a beige color. So in this video, in a moment, I have many of you may know, I run a dad's group here where I take a bunch of dads and we go up and with our kiddos and out into nature and get these kids away from the urban bubble that we live in. So this weekend, it's going to be a twofer. I'm going to be heading out with this Up 5, this PF Bereg Up 5 in a beige, and this thing looks beautiful. When this thing came in earlier this week, my son and I went around a corner to a soccer field because the sun was going down. I could not wait to crack this thing open, and it did not disappoint. So in this video, we're going to be heading out, and I will be setting up this tent. We're going to be sleeping in it for the first time, and then I'm going to do a walk around with this, and I'm going to approach this from the standpoint if you've not seen an Up 5 from PF Bereg before. So I'm going to kind of do a walk around and kind of point out some of the features with this tent. But what I will say this is, look, if you're interested in a 4-season tent, a true 4-season tent that is just forged from the middle of the coldest, in my head, this sounded a lot better, a lot smoother. But the point being here is if you want a tent that has been designed by people that really understand cold weather camping, PF Bereg, this is the origin story right here they build one of the best, it's the best cold weather tent that I've ever tested during the last six years and so forth. And matter of fact, there's not another tent on the market that can come anywhere near the thermal properties that these tents offer. Reason being is most tents have a single wall. This has a outer wall and an inner wall, so you have that buffer space, which during the winter months, boy, you stick a stove or a diesel heater inside one of these things, and it is game changing. And there we go again, one of those terms that I absolutely dislike because it's so cliche, but it is a pivotal moment in your camping experience because dry heat coming out of a heater into one of these tents or using a wood stove inside one of these tents, it is just absolutely amazing. And a tent like this, because it retains the heat so well during the winter months and so forth, it's going to make you want to get out into the wilderness. And plus, the plus side with winter camping is less people are out there, which means you get the pick of the land for usually the spots that you want. With that said, let's dive into this video and take a look at what this beige PF Bereg Up 5 tent looks like. Okay, so we're on the outside here of the Up 5 in the tan color here. Now, as you can see here, this looks identical to the Up 5 that we've tested on the channel here over the years. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk around. If this is your first time seeing a Up 5, so you can start seeing some of the features of this tent here. Might as well start right here. You have your stove jack. If you're going to be heating the tent with a stove, you have that conveniently located right there. And on each side, you have two windows, and the windows have a plastic, which is obviously for clear window like use, and then underneath that there is a screen, and you have the ability on each side to prop that up, which on the other side you'll see what I'm talking about, where that comes into place. There are two sets of guideline connectors on each of these arms that are coming around, giving the structure of the tent, one up on top and then one down below, and then right in the center of each of these here you have another point. Now, as I pointed out on a previous video, which I learned after the fact, I'm going to try to do this with one hand here. You have, once you have your guidelines tied onto this here, you actually have a pocket in each one of these here with a little Velcro to stuff your guideline wire inside of there as well. And here's something that is pretty slick as well. So if you're going to be heating your tent with a heater, or you can actually use this as a vent, because you have the wood stove that is actually right in front of this section to begin with. But last night we had the Sparks Overland diesel heater, the mini line going inside of here, heating the tent as well. So that works out really well. So that actually works perfect for sticking your line in there. All right, stepping over to the front, like the other up 5, up 7 tents, you have an actual swinging out door. You also have, it's set up for, you'll notice there's a zipper going around the perimeter of this section right here, which it does come with the mini vestibule, which I did not set that up last night. But these doors, which are really nice, they are Velcroed in and gives a nice, quick, easy in and out access to the tent as well. Plus it looks pretty cool. Okay, so many of you that have been considering the up 5, up 7 tent, and I do believe this color is available in the up 2 and the up 5, not the up 7. But those of you that weren't really keen on the camouflage print, obviously you have some options now. This tan, and obviously a green that goes along with it's being offered as well. All right, so we swing over to the back side here. You can actually see there's the screen that is, we'll probably get a better look at that on the inside of this as well, but all of this can be rolled up or just kept open like a vent, as we have right there. And we swing back around to the back entrance of the tent. So you'll notice on this back entrance here, it doesn't have the zipper that we see on the front there for the vestibule, but you do have another door area or door. And of course, as we've mentioned numerous times on the tent, or on this channel here, if you are interested in one of these tents, make sure it has the PF Bereg. This is the logo. You know you're getting it in an authentic PF Bereg tent when it has that logo. Anything else is a imposter, but this is the only company that is offering these colors, and so yeah, they did a really great job on this. Okay, so each of the doors, you have a outside door material. Even on that one over there with the actual physical door, you still have this, you have a screen, and then you have the inner door itself, and that gives you, let's come inside so you can see. If this is your first time seeing one of these tents, one of the big benefits that this tent, I've mentioned many times in this channel, there's not another tent on this planet that I've tested that it comes anywhere near the thermal benefits that these PF Bereg tents bring to the table. Why is that? Because you have a outer wall, and you have an inner wall. So in between there's a space of air that becomes a buffer, and that makes this much easier to heat during the winter months. And for that heat it requires less energy to heat this. And during the summer months, well, it requires less energy to cool the tent. But I'm excited because with this being the new release of these colors here, I'm really excited to see how this performs in hot weather, because obviously with this being tan, more light colors and so forth, it's going to attract a lot less sun, making it much easier to cool this area down. So obviously we're in winter months right now, so more on that as we lean into spring, summer. But you have heavy duty zippers going all the way around, so obviously you can close this off completely or have this nice screen and so forth. Again, it's funny enough, it's been 6 years that I've been testing these tents, and I'm in such a light colored version when normally even like the screen here is, you know, that camouflage material. So this is really, I like this. So let me share with you the details inside of the tent here. I'm going to turn the camera back around. One of the things that I absolutely admire with PF Bereg is you have a ton of interior storage. So last night, my son and I, we were in here and we had a cot there, which is where I was at, and my son was over here. Now you'll notice you have these pockets going all the way around, and there's additional Velcro little pocket things that you can put there that I did not use. But as you can see, you have more right there, more right there, one more of these Velcro pocket setups, one more right there as well. So you have a ton, and including up on the top here as well, you have a lot more storage up there as well. So, all right, now going around the perimeter of the tent, you have these little anchor points here. This is important because it gives you options of things to be able to hang inside of your tent, whether that be lights, you know, whatever you want to hang in there. And then it does include up here as well. So actually you can see I have one light, I have a DeVos light right there, and boom. So again, a lot of anchor points. In the stove, you come with this is a Velcroed piece in there. So again, if you're using a wood stove inside of here, and I would highly recommend, check out my last video up in Big Bear where you'll see where it wasn't in a, what tent was I? Oh, that's right, I was in a bell tent. So, but I was able to finally get out there and use the PF Bereg's new wood stove, which did an incredible job. So if you're interested in a wood stove, these guys make a very super high quality wood stove. And obviously you can see these tents are all ready for that. Just lift up that, move this up, roll it up, and you're gonna be set there. And here is the inside of that pass-through there. This is actually really nice. So you have a little screen bit there as well, which I'm not gonna be able to remove with one hand, but you can see there's a screen bit, or you can actually close it completely off. Now, one thing I do want to point out with regards to these tents, in the event that you don't want to go a diesel heater route or you don't want to go a wood stove route, the benefit with a tent with the outer inner wall like this here is, even if you have just a couple people that are inside of this, or just a single person inside of this, as long as you have the doors, you know, zipped up and closed and so forth, inside of it, you're going to notice, I've gone out, you know, many times, even with the larger Breg hexagon tent on a solo outing and so forth, and noticed an easy 10-degree difference from outside to what the inside temperature was, just by body heat and so forth. So again, from a thermal standpoint, these are exceptional tents. Now, one thing I do want to point out as well, this entire floor can be unzipped and removed out of here as well. So, there you have it. PF Bereg up 5 in the tan color. I personally think they hit a major home run. So again, this comes available in a green and in the tan. All right, friends, and there you go. The PF Bereg up 5 in the tan. I think they did such a big home run with this tent. Now again, it comes available in a green as well. Over the years, testing these tents out, one of the common, I wouldn't say, I'll call it a sticking point that many of you have voiced, is you love this tent, the tent, you love the style, you love the storage, you love the ease of getting this thing up because it goes up like an umbrella. You know, it takes like 90 seconds literally to put this thing up. But for many of you, the sticking point was the color, the camouflage.
I get it. Camouflage is not for everybody. But the tan color now offering it in a green is such a big home run. And one of the things I do want to point out as well as I'm sitting here inside of this and admiring the light color in here. So regardless whether you go with a camouflage or you go with one of these tans or the greens that they offer, inside of this, a little light goes a long way. So as you can see with this sheen white material up here, and you may recall even in the camouflage up 5, 7, hexagon and so forth, they have that same white in there, and it kind of works very similar. It's funny, many of you may know I'm also a professional photographer. In a light box, you have that umbrella, so this area acts as a small bit of light is reflected down below, and especially now with this tan color in here, a little light goes a very long way in here. But this is the up 5. This is such a beautiful tent. It is great for, as you can see, there's 2 of us in here right now and there's plenty of space, but you could easily, with a couple bunks, get 4 people in here and still be very, very comfortable. And I am 6 foot, and there is a tremendous, again, I just love how light this is in here. There's a tremendous amount of walking space that I can navigate throughout here. And even if you have a stove or wood stove right here, now that's going to come out to right about here. You can see one cot here, there's a chair there, we have a full-size table and another cot here. There's still ample room for a couple, even 3 people, to be very comfortable inside of this tent. Let me there we go, let's find the lighting here where you can actually see me. So yeah, up 5, many of you have asked, and we'll be doing a side-by-side comparison of a up 2, up 5, and of course the up 7, because many of you have been requesting for a comparison video, so stay tuned for that. I'll have that coming around the corner. But yeah, so this is a big home run, and what I'll do is I'll put links down below. So if you want a authentic PF Bereg up 5 tent like the one I'm in right now, again, nobody else on the planet offers this color. I'll put links down below, and if you have any questions with regards to this tent or any of the other PF Bereg tents, let me know down in the comments down below. And with that said, friends, I will see you in the next video.